Hello, this is Oki again. Thank you very much for joining me into this episode as well. We're going to have a very special episode, episode 4 of Lugheve. We're going to see another drawing of mine to be presented to the rest of the drawings. Every episode we're going to have another drawing added to the collection, and this is the one we're going to look at. Looking at me while the teaching's being given. Thank you for joining Lugheve episode 4 again. This is me, Oki, your superhero. In this episode, the first thing I'm going to mention is I want you to remember that darkness is to do and have and follow and bring that what lacks in this world and life of ours, what lacks is to be the plus to darkness. You must understand this. What lacks in this world is the plus to darkness. It's science. It's mathematics. Another thing you must remember and know is that frictions are a part of knowing what lacks in this world. Frictions and fractions, particles and fractions, these know by their frictions, what lacks in this world. So if we will follow frictions, we will see and feel and understand and know what lacks in this world. But you must also remember that frictions and fractions and particles are all just mental. There's no going deep into the kaleidoscope to find these. What we need to do is we need to see mentally these things and understand that this is where they are at. This is a very important teaching by me, Oki. Thank you. The next thing I'm going to teach is to understand that when we consume things in life and energy, when we consume it, then our spirit also equals to that we consume, even food. And that is of high significance and importance to us. So what we need to remember is we need to remember that to have dementia is something very dangerous. To forget everything until you disappear. But forgetfulness has a very important value as well. It's as if it's the same as forgive and forget. To have forgive and forget both to exist, they are said so because there must be said so. You forgive with forget and forget with forgive. So the consumption which we let go of to exist in reciprocity rather than consumption is by forgetting the consumption in forgive. And the reciprocity is the most equivalent. It's to what you are equivalent to. It is private and public, as in both. So it is. Without direction, without relativity. So being same. The last thing I'm going to teach in this episode is I want you to understand that a legacy exists to everyone. And comparison exists to everyone and every group and every legacy of their own, from one legacy to another and from one people to another. From one group to another, and the people and the individuals within the group to the other groups. And the individual within the other groups. And they are being compared. And this shall arise. And these are groups, and they are grouping, and this exists in love. So these groups and those groups and the other groups, they all have love. And they rise in their love. So this is how we can see and have recognition to each and every group being itself in rising and arising and increasing with each other by their equivalence to each other, by being the same in their love. This means that in translation, this is a paradox of groups. Because the source is one anyway. So how can there be with love to all different groupings and groups in different rise and fall and decrease to others? This paradox is that comes by nothing in recognition itself. And this nothing is in recognition itself between the values that are the same to all these groups, the values of love to each other, that's all they exist on love to each other. Between the values to be the same, the groups are different. This is nothing in recognition. In equivalence, this is a paradox. This is to be the decrease and increase of equivalence that is disqualifying and requalifying both. The equivalence between us and others, between us, between one and another. And this is in recognition. There is no such thing as no recognition. You know itself. You know itself. And this is my teaching for you in this episode 4 of Lugheve. This is Oki. I'm your superhero. Thank you very, very much for coming and checking me out again. A lot of love. I had a lot of fun with you in this episode. Thank you again. I will see you in the next episode of Lugheve, episode 5.